What I found with all my years' experience helping people with promissory notes is that there's so many people now that are deeply gaslit when it comes to what cash promissory notes are and what gold and silver are. And they're confused. They are completely gaslit. The banks are gaslighting the majority, the vast population of planet Earth. So many people, they do not understand this. And it doesn't take long, it doesn't take a lot of study to get a grasp of it. This £5 note you see on the left-hand side of the screen there, people think that and all the other currencies around the world, the bank notes, that is legitimate money. That's what the gaslighting is. It is not. It is just a note with a promise on it. They are promissory notes. That is cash. The promise is clear. I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £5. That is clear. It is a note to promise £5 of money. And it's sterling silver in the case of British pounds sterling. That is not money. It is a note that promises money. That is a fact. And it is trash. It is not a promise that you can rely on. It is a broken promise. To show the gaslighting that's gone on, I want to play this clip of Sarah John, whose signature is on all the 5, 10s, 20s and 50s promissory notes in the UK. And she's asked the question, she's in a big vault full of gold. She's asked the question, he says, take me back, talk me through it. Why does the Bank of England hold so much gold? Why? Take me back. And she says, well, gold's been used as money for a long time and people found it was heavy and cumbersome. So they take the gold to the goldsmith or the bankers back then, and they would issue them with a promissory note, an IOU. Watch this.
Turn into, okay, the bank needs to hold this much gold. What was the process like? Take me back.
So obviously gold's been used for quite a number of years as a form of money. First of all, gold coins themselves. But the problem with gold coins is they're actually quite heavy to carry around.
Can't flip it, no.
Exactly. So what people started to do was they would take their gold coins to a goldsmith and the goldsmith would issue them with an IOU.
Okay.
And over time, people realised that actually using those IOUs to pay for goods and services was actually easier than actually going and getting the gold and lugging it around.
Okay.
And those IOUs eventually developed into what we now know as banknotes.
That's fascinating, isn't it? See this? Just there? That's Sarah's signature. With the words, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £20. It's just an IOU.
It's just an IOU or a promissory note. That's all it is. Now I'm going to share some of my recent successful clients where this one was, I got a next consultation with them and I just had a reply today. Hi Dave, just thought I would let you know that the car loan has been taken off my credit score. Hopefully that's the last of it, unless I said to be debt for him. So that was 5 months. Now, sometimes I've done it in 2 months. It's usually several months. It could be longer. But this one was 5 months. Now, some people might say that's stealing. That person's stolen a car because he paid for it with a promissory note. It is not. The dealer who provided the car has got paid. The finance company didn't lose anything. The finance company, they created the funds out of thin air. Well, you did actually, through the finance company. You expanded the currency supply by that much, and then you expanded it again when you wrote the promissory note. And this guy's driving that car. I'm driving my car. Now I'm going to share another one now. The next one is, so I'm helping this one person. They didn't mention at all the promissory note. You need to make it clear. There has been a mistake made. It was paid in cash on this date. It should be date. Be simple to the point, but make sure you are strong. I was using speech to text. Sorry, it's a little inaccurate. I'm just giving him some information. It has been paid. It absolutely has been paid in cash. If they dispute what you paid as cash, they could take you to court for it, but they never, ever do that. It's never been done. They're trying to throw you off on another course. I always tell people, be strong. Stay on your course. You paid it in cash on the date that you paid it. If they want to debate what you paid as cash, that's another thing. But do not let them throw you off this course. You have paid it in cash. Whether you pay in Sarah John's £50 notes or your one handwritten one, it meets all the requirements of the Bills of Exchange Act. The three things it needs is a promise, a clear, unconditional promise, the amount in words and in numbers, and a signature, just like all the £5 notes, £10 notes and £20 notes. I'm going to continue this conversation now. He sent me a new one of the Halifax covering letters, and he says they do mention the promissory note in this letter being enclosed, so I've just kept it short and sweet, let them know it. I'm prepared to go to court. If they want to challenge what I paid is cash, the promissory notes are cash, then great, let's challenge that. But don't say I haven't paid it, because I have paid it. And I said, yes, I see. Yes, that's very good. Make it clear you are prepared to go to court if they challenge you. What you paid them is cash. They want to throw you off and say you haven't paid. But you have paid. You're saying you have paid. The civil dispute is about what you paid. Is it cash or not? Is promissory notes cash according to the Bills of Exchange Act? Well, let's debate that in court. Let's look at the Bills of Exchange Act and debate it. So you can be insistent you have paid in cash. This is a fact. Yes, they've received the cash. Do you want to debate that? Yes, absolutely, he said. And I've also got proof of them receiving it, which is what's important. I've just paid Marsden's for a DVLA fine with a promissory note as they've been threatening to take my possessions. Will this work or not? I tried it anyway and paid post the same way. And I said, it is possible to make this work, but it's a different thing altogether now. It's not a simple process. I can help you. The same again, I'll do some consultation with you, go through it all. They're going to say they don't accept promissory notes as usual. There's a certain way you have to do it to be successful. Now, all these situations are different. I'll never help someone if there's any loss, harm or injury. I'll only help someone if there's no loss, harm or injury. Now, dealing with finance firms, as long as they haven't taken their currency that they've got and given it to you as a loan, and you pay that with a promissory note, well, they would lose, wouldn't they? No, that there would be loss, harm or injury. You're not staying in honour. That would be morally wrong. There would be loss. You haven't got clean hands approach. But as long as the currency is created out of thin air and added to the currency supply, then you pay it with another promissory note. There is no loss. All you're doing is expanding the currency supply of the world, or the promissory note supply. It is expanding anyway, and it will continue to expand. Let's continue this conversation. So, oh yeah, that's right. It is that's the same conversation, just a big thing. So it is possible to make that work. Oh, by the way, I'll take this opportunity to apologise to everyone. I'm very slow getting back. A few people have said to me, are you getting my emails? I can see them there. I just haven't had a chance to reply yet. My wife is going through a hard time. She's in Japan at the moment. Her father has got stage 4 cancer. It might not be long left. She doesn't know whether to fly back, and then she might have to fly back for the funeral, or does she just stay there and wait? We just don't know, and we're going through a bit of a hard time. I'm like a single dad for 2 weeks so far. It might be more time. I'm struggling with the kids don't like my cooking. My youngest is going to school with her uniform wrong. She's forgot her PE kit and her books are wrong. And it really makes me appreciate how much work wives and mothers do. And I'm working full time and I'm working overtime. I've got a lot to catch up on, but I've got to come back to pick up the kids from school and then go back to work when my big kids come home to look after the little ones. But anyway, getting back on point now. I said, yeah, he wants another consultation. Look, I'm fully booked up this week, but perhaps early next week we could book a consultation again, absolutely. So I am struggling to get through everybody. I apologise if you've written to me and you think I'm ignoring you. I'm sorry. I've just been so busy lately. We've got a lot going on. I will slowly reply to everyone, but please be patient. And if you want to book a consultation with me, it might take a little while to fit you in. I'm sorry about that. It'll be mostly evenings, probably quite late at night. But do your best on your own to start with. I can give you all the PDFs that you need to get you going. And just be sure that there is no loss, harm or injury. I'm going to give you a bit of information to get you going. And a few secrets I've released in the last few videos. If you've watched all my videos, you can see the one where I'm putting tracking devices and all the promissory notes. Because the cat is out of the bag now. Most of the banks, well, the banks we've dealt with know this now. The reason we're doing this, now look at this promissory note here. Underneath the £5, we put a credit card size tracker underneath it. I cut a hole in the promissory note not to increase the thickness too much. And the credit card size tracker is about the same thickness as the promissory note that I cut out. And I cover it with a £5 note. They don't know it's there. Sometimes they have said, we didn't receive it. It was not there, which is such a childish thing to say. I've got proof that you received it and someone there signed. I've got this person's name. They signed for it as being received. But then they'll say, no, it wasn't in the envelope because they know they're in a bind. They can't send it back to you because payment refused, payment returned is payment made. And sometimes they'll say, we might destroy it or throw it away. Well, okay, that's fine. What you do with your things is your business. If I paid you in £50 notes, that is yours now. I've paid you in cash. If you wanted to destroy it or throw it away, that is your choice. It's your things. If you wanted to give it to your mum, if you wanted to give it to your friend, give it to another company or give it back to me. What you do with your things is your business. But don't lie and say you didn't receive it. And don't lie and say that you will destroy it because we can see where it is for 5 months. Once I put the tracking device into the promissory note, you can be charged with a wireless charger. Make sure it's fully charged up before you send it. It will last 5 months. And these banks didn't know we were doing this, but some of them do now. We can see where it ends up. Wherever it ends up within the 5 months is probably where it will stay for a long time. And this is a negotiable financial instrument. If that company were to pass on their assets to another company for whatever reason, this would go with it. This one here was for £22,000 or £21,995 with a Sarah John's promissory note, £22,000. You have expanded their net worth by £22,000. Just to be clear, this is to show the stupidity, the idiocracy. And one of my big critics said that this is, it's wizardry. What is it? He goes on about Magic the Gathering. I don't really know what that is, and Lord of the Rings and all these other things. I don't really know. But I can see the point he's making. He's accusing our promissory notes as like illusions, like wizards, magicians. And I think all that he says is absolutely right. Yes, absolutely right. But that is applying to all the 5, 10s, 20s and 50s. It's an illusion. It's just a note with a promise on it. It is not gold and silver. And there's a confusion there, but it is not. Gold and silver are real money. And stage 1 is promissory notes convertible for gold and silver. Stage 2 is suspend convertibility of the promissory notes. Now you can create so many of them. In fact, you can expand the supply to infinity, which is what they did in stage 2. And in stage 3, they keep expanding the supply of promissory notes, but at a greater, faster level. And it goes exponential. And stage 3, which started the end of 2025, gold and silver do an accounting for all the promissory notes added to supply since the last time the cycle repeated. That's happening. Stage 1 and stage 2 last decades. Stage 3 only lasts years. So I've said it many times. All my interviews I've done for years now, I've said, looking at the years 2026, 2027 for stage 3 to reach its grand climax, where gold and silver account for all promissory notes added to supply. We're calling out the fraud. We're calling out the wizardry, the magic, the illusion and the confusion. The way the banks have been gaslighting everybody to think that their notes with promises on them are as good as gold and silver. They are not. They are broken promises. And our promissory note that we write says, I irrevocably and unconditionally promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of £22,000 or whatever the amount is in the same like manner and form as would be the Bank of England at the time of payment. So however Sarah John honours the promise on that, all her notes that she signs, we will honour ours in the same way. We can't answer that. I can't speak for them. You'll have to talk to the Bank of England. How will they honour that promise? And then we say the enclosed £5 note accompanies this promissory note to affirm its equivalence to a lawful instrument of payment, serving as full and final satisfaction of any outstanding obligations in accordance with the Bills of Exchange Act 1882. This note is issued in compliance with the Bills of Exchange Act 1882 and constitutes an irrevocable and unconditional promise to pay. It's all magic, it's all wizardry, it's all an illusion. You are gaslit if you believe the Bank of England's magic money powers. Cash is promissory notes and cash is trash. They are just notes with broken promises on them. You need to stack real money, gold and silver. Both gold and silver are real money. Both gold and silver are used in industry. Silver is running out, gold is in surplus. You want to stack silver now. If you'd like to do a consultation with me, you can email below, but please be patient. I might not be able to get back to you for a while. And for all those people I am ongoing helping, please be patient. I will get back to you. It's just going to take me a little while. But please be patient, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.